African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of October 29, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue the special military operation. Units of the North Troop Group inflicted defeat on formations of mechanized, airborne assault brigades, and an assault regiment of the armed forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Andriivka, Sadki, and Khotin in the Sumy region. In the Kharkiv direction, defeat was inflicted on units of a motorized infantry brigade of the armed forces of Ukraine and two territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Volchansk, Volchansky Khutora, and Pokolyano in the Kharkiv region. The armed forces of Ukraine lost over 160 servicemen, an armored personnel carrier, 8 vehicles, and 2 artillery guns. 2 electronic warfare and counter-battery stations, as well as 3 supply depots, were destroyed. Units of the West Troop Group improved their tactical position. Defeat was inflicted on personnel and equipment of 2 mechanized brigades, an airmobile brigade, 2 assault brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine, and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Kupyansk, Kurilovka, Kucherovka in the Kharkiv region, Drobyshevo, Krasny Lyman, and Yampol in the Donetsk People's Republic. The destruction continues of the surrounded armed forces of Ukraine group in the area of the settlement of Kupyansk in the Kharkiv region. 2 unsuccessful attempts by units of the 92nd Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine to conduct counterattacks from the settlements of Nechvolodovka and Moskovka in the Kharkiv region to unblock the surrounded formations of the armed forces of Ukraine east of the settlement of Kupyansk in the Kharkiv region were suppressed. Units of the South Troop Group occupied more advantageous lines and positions. Defeat was inflicted on formations of 5 mechanized brigades, an airmobile brigade, a mountain assault brigade of the armed forces of Ukraine, and a marine brigade in the areas of the settlements of Vasyokavka, Dranovka, Zakotnoye, Petrovskoye, Pleshchivka, Svyatopokrovskoye, and Seversky in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 355 servicemen, a Kazakh armored vehicle, 14 vehicles, and a field artillery gun. An electronic warfare station, a radar station, 2 ammunition depots, and 3 supply depots were destroyed. Units of the center group of troops have improved their position on the front line. Defeated personnel and equipment of 5 mechanized, tank, airmobile, 3 assault brigades, a drone systems brigade, 2 assault regiments of the armed forces of Ukraine, a marine brigade, 2 territorial defense brigades, and 2 National Guard brigades in the areas of the settlements Belitskoye, Dobropoli, Novonikolivka, Rosa Luxemburg, Toretsk of the Donetsk People's Republic, Novopavlovka, and Ivanovka of the Dnipropetrovsk region. In the settlement of Krasnoarmeysk of the Donetsk People's Republic, assault units of the Second Army continue to destroy encircled formations of the armed forces of Ukraine in the area of the railway station, the Zeleznodorozhny microdistrict, and are consolidating their positions in the city industrial zone. In the south of the city, after liberating the Troyanda microdistrict, units of the Second Army advanced. Units of the East Group of troops advanced deep into the enemy's defense and liberated the settlement Vishneve of the Dnipropetrovsk region. Defeated formations of 3 mechanized brigades, 4 assault regiments of the armed forces of Ukraine, and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements Veliko Mikhailivka, Novo Alexandrivka of the Dnipropetrovsk region, Novo, Uspanovka, and Yablakovo of the Zaporizhia region. The armed forces of Ukraine lost up to 220 servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, 6 vehicles, a US-made 155mm M777 howitzer, and an electronic warfare station. Units of the Dnieper Group of troops inflicted damage on personnel and equipment of a mechanized brigade and a coastal defense brigade of the armed forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements Orkhov, Preobrazhenka of the Zaporizhia region, Lvovo, and Antonivka of the Kherson region. More than 55 servicemen, 14 vehicles, 2 electronic warfare stations, and a material supply depot were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian armed forces groups inflicted damage on energy facilities that supported the operation of enterprises of the Ukrainian military-industrial complex, railway trains with weapons and equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine, workshops for the production of unmanned aerial vehicles and their storage sites, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations and foreign mercenaries in 149 areas. Air defense means shot down 2 guided aerial bombs and 238 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, destroyed 668 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 93,287 unmanned aerial vehicles, 633 surface-to-air missile systems, 25,740 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,607 multiple launch rocket system vehicles, 30,883 field artillery and mortars, 45,197 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.